Bring you live coverage, taking a live look right now at President Trump's future home. And to Bobby's point, we're only hours away now. At 12 noon tomorrow, that'll be President Trump's official home for the next 4 years, along with the First Lady and the First Family. So wonderful to see that happening here soon. As it's about 6:33, we have a few programming notes to share with you in just a second, but a few more great sponsors to get to. I do want to share with you a quick quote, of course, from President Trump's speech. He said, "We will all be sworn in tomorrow. We will be all sworn in tomorrow." Bobby. Available there at amac.us/RSBN. Let's go to MyPillow as well, as we are getting ready for enter right there. Actually, there. Valentine's Day coming up on the 14th of February. If you'd like to get some gifts, but also maybe you need a new pillow or some of the sheets, a lot of great products there at mypillow.com. And go ahead and use that RSBN promo code. Also, if you'd like to donate to Right Side Broadcasting Network, all you do is text RSBN to 801-801. So if you just text RSBN to 801-801, that'd be greatly appreciated if you can swing it. Also, rsbnetwork.com/newsletter is a newsletter you can get in your email inbox. When it comes to live events or America First updates and special offers, you can get that at rsbnetwork.com/newsletter. Programming note for tonight. So up next, before we even get to tomorrow's early morning start here at Right Side Broadcasting Network for the huge day, Inauguration Day 2025, tonight is the TPUSA inaugural ball, and there are a number of very well-known people that will be speaking. We'll have live coverage right here on RSBN starting at 8 p.m. Some of the people that are expected to attend, the guests in attendance, Charlie Kirk, of course, Donald Trump Jr., Conor McGregor will be there tonight in Washington at this TPUSA event. Be quite interesting to hear what the Irish fella has to say. Conor, of course, a former UFC fighter and has a number of businesses out there. Tom Homan will be in attendance as well. 30 in the morning for our coverage Eastern time for the 47th Commander-in-Chief to be sworn in into office at the rotunda of the U.S. Capitol building. There's also a viewing party of sorts back at that arena you just saw tonight for the inauguration ceremony. So possibly President Trump may swing over there as well again. Who knows? We'll be watching. I'm Matthew Alvarez, and for all of us here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, we'll see you a little bit later tonight.
A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving us with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? That's their loss. I'm going to make it your gain. For the first time ever, you get standard classic MyPillows for wholesale prices, only $14.88. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, I'm going to offer my entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Upgrade to a queen-size MyPillow for just $18.88.
Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interviewed the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from
$100 per month, and that makes a lot of sense in these Biden before the it's so bad. You can't even imagine how anybody could, before these things of, think of it, open borders, prisons and mental institutions, men playing in women's sports, transgender for everyone, transgender. And very soon we'll begin the largest deportation operation in American history, larger and even larger than President Dwight Eisenhower, who has the record right now. And we're going to end the Biden war on American energy and unleash our energy resources to quickly defeat inflation and achieve the lowest cost of energy and electricity on earth. And we're going to be using our emergency powers to allow countries and entrepreneurs and people with a lot of money build big plants, AI plants. We need double the energy that we already have, and it's going to end up being more than that. And we're going to slash the regulations, environmental regulations that are really put in there in order to stop progress in this country. We're going to also slash something else, the waste in our bloated federal bureaucracy. We will create the new Department of Government Efficiency, headed by a gentleman named Elon Musk, who's here someplace. I don't know where the hell he is. He's here someplace. Come here, Elon. Did you see his rocket yesterday? It was captured. And X is with him. X. Come on, Elon, say a couple of words.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Sorry, little X just followed me on the stage here. He's a very enthusiastic supporter, as you can see. Woo! Yeah. So we're looking forward to making a lot of changes, and you know this victory is the start, really. What matters going forward is to actually make significant changes, cement those changes, and set the foundation for America to be strong for a century, for centuries, forever. So. And make America great again. Yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, we're gonna do great things here. Thank you.
Thank you, Elon. You know, I always say we have to be protective of our geniuses because we don't have too many, but that one is a good one. Now, I watched his rocket come down about 3 months ago, and I thought it was crashing. I was talking to somebody on the phone. By the way, same thing happened yesterday. It came down, and it was captured so beautifully. It came down, it's tumbling, it's a mess, it's going down. I say, oh, look at that thing, that's a disaster. And then it gets like a couple of miles away from Earth, and all of a sudden the engines start going on, the things start, and then I see it, kept watching it, I say, oh, it's gonna crash, oh, but those engines came out and they blew the fire all over the place. And all of a sudden those two big arms came and hugged it like you would hug your little baby. And that sucker landed it. Nobody's been able to do that but him. And he's a great guy. And we have him and Vivek and some great people working on a thing called costs. And he's got the credibility to do it too. And we're going to do things that are really amazing. But he went out to Pennsylvania after that. He landed that rocket nobody had ever seen. By the way, China can't do it. Russia can't do it or come close. It will be 10 years before they can do it. And the U.S. can't do it except for him. And it's pretty amazing. But he did that. And then he journeyed to Pennsylvania, where he spent like a month and a half campaigning for me in Pennsylvania. And he's a popular guy, and he was very effective. And he knows those computers better than anybody, all those computers, those vote-counting computers. And we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide, so it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So thank you to Elon. And his son's name, who's cute as a button, his son's name is X. He's the only guy who could get away with the name X. But his son is a great guy. One thing we know, his son is smart. If you believe in the racehorse theory, he's got a nice, smart son. But thank you very much to Elon and everybody. We've had so much help. Every radical and foolish executive order of the Biden administration mandates all across the government and private sector in return our country to the merit system. You know, the Supreme Court ruled that the United States is allowed to go by the merit system, which is what made us great in the first place. That was a big ruling that a lot of people don't even know about, but it was a big, tremendous ruling. And you're focusing on character, competence, and qualifications in all hiring decisions. Now you're allowed to go by competence and ability and genius. You don't have to hire somebody to send up one of his rocket ships that doesn't know anything about what's happening. As a first step toward restoring transparency and accountability to government, we will also reverse the overclassification of government documents, and in the coming days, we are going to make public remaining records relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, his brother Robert Kennedy, as well as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and other topics of great public interest. It's all going to be released, Uncle Sam. And I will direct our military to begin construction of the great Iron Dome missile defense shield, which will all be made in the USA. And we will get wokeness the hell out of our military immediately and make it like it used to be. Take a look at this.
You little scumbag! I got your name! I got your ass! You will not laugh! You will not cry! You will learn by the numbers!
Happy Pride. Happy Pride Month, and actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
So you're a killer?
Sir, yes, sir!
Let me see your war face!
Sir!
You got a war face?
So we won 2 world wars with that. And that's the way it's going to be. The American people have given us their trust, and in return, we're going to give them the best first day, the biggest first week, and the most extraordinary first 100 days of any presidency in American history. To implement this historic agenda, I've assembled an all-star cabinet of patriots and visionaries and reformers who will fight for America, and together we will win, win, win for America. To restore the spirit of American armed forces, I have appointed Pete Hegseth as our next Secretary of Defense. Where's Pete? Where's Pete? Pete's here someplace. Where is he? Good job, Pete. They like you, Pete. Thank you. They like him. To bring back integrity to our intelligence community, Tulsi Gabbard will be our next Director of National Intelligence. To make America the people have largely left, and the soldiers are killing each other at levels that haven't been seen since the Second World War. So we'll have to get that one straight.
Who are undocumented across the
On watching television tomorrow. Somebody said yesterday, sir, don't sign so many in one day.
By Border Patrol crossing illegal.
Lady Michelle Obama for their gracious aid throughout this transition. But he said he may not know the Bible quite as well as. You know, he also did something. They picked Ronald Reagan over Jimmy Carter a long time ago, which is what made us great in the first ruling that a lot of people don't even know about, but it was a big, tremendous ruling. And you're focusing on California, and the hottest when the Panama Canal, sir, headed by a gentleman named Elon Musk, who's here someplace. I don't know where.
Washington's inaugural address was not available to the public until 2 days after he took the oath of office. Thomas Jefferson was the first president to have his inauguration speech printed in a newspaper the same day he gave the address. James Polk was the first to have his inaugural reported by telegraph and the first shown in a newspaper illustration. Drawings would be the main visual for inaugurations until 1857, when the first photograph of an inaugural address was taken at James Buchanan's swearing in. Photographers were a staple of inaugurations over the next 40 years until the rise of video.
It is the day of days in Washington, D.C.
William McKinley was the first to have his inauguration recorded on a movie camera. Warren Harding used loudspeakers to address the crowd for the first time. Calvin Coolidge's second inaugural address was the first to be broadcast over radio, and Herbert Hoover would give the first inaugural recorded by a talking newsreel.
It is a dedication and a consecration under God to the highest office in the service of our people.
20 years later, news networks would broadcast the first live inauguration coverage.
Harry S. Truman, the man from Missouri, will be sworn in as 32nd President of the United States.
Inaugural addresses would change to color, more than a decade later as John F. Kennedy was sworn in.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Ronald Reagan sought to bring the pageantry to Americans across the country. He hosted about 100 satellite inaugural balls in 32 cities.
Almost 200 years ago at the first inaugural, people came by stagecoach. This time, people all over America. Millions of people are attending this one by satellite.
More than a decade later, Bill Clinton's second inauguration was the first to be broadcast live over the internet.
As we look back at this remarkable century, we may ask, can we hope not just to follow, but even to surpass the achievements of the 20th century in America?
As the internet era grew, social media became a factor.
We have always understood that when times change, so must we.
Barack Obama's second inauguration generated more than 1 million tweets. Cell phone carriers prepared for massive data usage at Donald Trump's first address, as hundreds of thousands in attendance were expected to share the day's events on social media. And amid the 2020 pandemic, most festivities for Joe Biden's inauguration were held online.
The world is watching all of us today. So here's my message to those beyond our borders. America has been tested, and we've come out stronger for it.
As for milestones during President-elect Trump's inauguration tomorrow, he is hoping to make it a global event by inviting world leaders. Argentina's president is expected to be in attendance. China has sent their vice president. Several other countries sending foreign ministers. Tomorrow, tune in to Fox News Channel for live coverage of President-elect Trump's inauguration, hosted by Martha McCallum and me. Programming begins 11:30 Eastern Time. Tomorrow on Special Report, we'll have analysis of the president's speech and events throughout the day. Remember, if you can't catch us live, set your DVR, 6 p.m. in the East, 3 p.m. on the West Coast. This is history, real time. Thanks for inviting us into your home tonight. That's it for this special report. Fair, balanced, and still unafraid. The big weekend show is coming up next.
Where's it at? Oh, okay, cool. Now's good. Want me
and yes, optimism ahead of the inauguration tomorrow at noon. Now, it was billed as a celebration for the 47th and 45th President of the United States, and as expected, yeah, he promised to hit the ground running.
You're going to see executive orders that are going to make you extremely happy, lots of them, lots of them. We have to set our country on the proper course. By the time the sun sets tomorrow evening, the invasion of our borders will have come to a halt, and all the illegal border trespassers will in some form or another be on their way back home.
Send them back. That's what a lot in the crowd were saying after he made those remarks. Meantime, among the many items on his to-do list, the president-elect also laid out his plan to keep TikTok in operation here in the U.S. As you probably heard by now, the social media giant went offline for several hours today before re-entering the online space, a space which, by the way, Mr. Trump says has room for the company with a major benefit to the U.S.
I said, I'll approve, but let the United States of America own 50% of TikTok. I'm approving on behalf of the United States. So they'll have a partner, the United States, and they'll have a lot of bidders, and the United States will do what we call a joint venture. And there's no risk. We're not putting up any money. All we're doing is giving them the approval, without which they don't have anything. So I don't know. It sounds like that works. What do you think? Good? I think so. So whether you like TikTok or not, we're going to make a lot of money.
Hashtag winning. And after wrapping up his remarks, as you alluded to, Griff, the president welcomed the Village People to the stage, and the group didn't disappoint, belting out its resurgent hit YMCA, while the president did the Trump dance in the background. Now, for those of you old enough to remember this, that song was #2 in the charts all the way back in 1979. #2, but it topped the charts for 5 weeks, Griff, in 2024, thanks in large part to the Trump rallies and all the play there. I know 1979, you were in, like, I don't know, 3rd grade or something, but it's good to see the song. There you go. There was a lot of that tonight.
I remember. I'm old enough to remember the Village People, and that's just perhaps, Kevin, the Trump effect. Took it to #1.
I'll say
Kevin
so.
Cork in Washington. Kevin, thank you very much.
You bet.
All right, let's break this discussion out and go down the line. So it was a really fascinating speech. And one of the things that stood out to me is he said, tomorrow I will be inaugurated. No. We will be inaugurated. We will be running the country. We will take over. And I thought that was very fascinating. He also, not surprisingly, in Trump fashion, set the bar high, claiming that in the first day, in the first 100 days, he'll do more than any president has ever done in history. There was one moment where he talked about these executive orders. We know some 200 plus may be coming literally tomorrow. Here is some of what he said about his executive orders. Listen.
You're going to see something tomorrow. You're going to see executive orders that are going to make you extremely happy. Lots of them. Lots of them. We have to